It's my privilege to introduce to you a man who is honestly requires no introduction. He is a man who has dedicated his life to the greatness of Canada and to make the lives of our ordinary Canadian better. He is from right here in Saskatchewan, and he has never forgotten his roots. And the folks like you and I have supported him for many years now. So with no further ado, please welcome the Right Honourable John George Diefenbaker.
Before speaking seriously on other things, I am reminded of an experience I had in the dying days of a campaign in 1940 in a small town here in Saskatchewan. It was suggested to me that I should call upon Mrs. X, that she might support me. I did. And she said she would support me. And as I was leaving, I said to her, "Will your husband support me too?" And she said, "Support you? He hasn't supported me for the last 7 years." This is a time for greatness in planning for Canada's future. Unity demands it. Freedom requires it. Vision will ensure it. I believe if this nation is to have a new birth of unity and freedom, we must go back to the vision and the idealism of Canada's First Nation builder. He led the way, MacDonald did, to national tolerance, dignity, and unity.
Right. Yeah!
As he joined with Cartier in brotherhood and faith, my pledge will be to do my part to achieve one Canada. Yeah! The Canadian Bill of Rights. I am a Canadian, free to speak without fear, free to worship in my own way, free to stand what I think right, free to oppose what I believe wrong, free to choose those who shall govern my country. This heritage of freedom I pledge to uphold for myself and all Canadians. Laurier said, "One nation." Cartier said, "One nation." Boris Saint-Laurent said the same. I am looking into the hearts of all Canadians. I know what discrimination was. I know how much easier it would have been for me if I had my mother's name. But from the earliest days, when I was unpopular, I worked to raise the standard of equality in this country. Let all be Canadians. Let us not deny equality to those whose surnames are not English or French. Yeah. To the service of my country, I have been given the full span of my years. I would like to think and hope you will believe me. Whatever my shortcomings, these years were not unworthy. In the coming years, I want to see men and women take their full part in public life. I want to see the mobilization of the idealism of youth within this land.
Thank you very much. Should have had a history lesson like that when I went to school. So I would like to thank you for coming out here tonight and entertaining us and giving us what I would call a true history lesson. All right, thank you.
John Diefenbaker died working at his desk in early morning, August 16, 1979 in Ottawa. After his funeral in Ottawa, his body was transported by rail to Saskatoon for burial. Farmers stopped working in their fields and paused in respect as the train passed, and as he traveled this last time through the numerous small towns and cities where he had campaigned so many times, thousands of people came out to say goodbye to the man who would become a legend in his own time. A few years before he died, the Canadian folk group String Band recorded the song, "Dief will be the chief again." Of the song, Diefenbaker said, "As a connoisseur of good music, I'm simply delighted." The song states, "Dief come out of Prince Albert. He was raised on the prairie grain. He always had a hand for the working man. Dief will be the chief again. Everybody's happy back in '57. Nobody's happy since then. There was law in the land, order in the home, swimming in the river back then. I know in my heart that Dief will be the chief again."
Yeah.
I want to know where I stand, and I want you to know where you stand too. One Canada, one purpose, its greatness. One aim, unity, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. There is only one nation in Canada. I see one nation and one Canada. That was the challenge in 1867, and that is the challenge today.
Everybody's